Well, welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
Always a pleasure to host with you.
Yes, it is, my friend. We're in a new year.
Yeah,
we're moving quite a bit, and Real People, Real Voices is at it again, making sure we get the right information to the neighborhood.
New year, new people.
New people, yeah, and a new voice.
A new voice. Happy New Year again to you.
And to you as well, and your family as well.
Thank you. And I want to thank our sponsors.
Yes, we want to thank Lee Cossack and Crawley for being with us another year, and then we have Fervent Care Christian Academy, and we're looking for new sponsors as well, and we hope that you will become a part of Real People, Real Voices, and we'll make sure that your business gets all of the information out there that it needs to have in order to make people understand that you're out there for the community.
Absolutely, and we also want to thank some of the behind-the-scenes
sponsorship. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, it's a lot of people that
the makeup folks, the camera operators.
Yes. Shapiro's
providing the food for our team.
Every month they provide the food.
Yeah.
And it's just a great opportunity to be a part of this production here at WHMB TV Channel 40.
And we want to encourage you to go and look at some of our shows that you might have missed. You can subscribe to WHMB TV 40 on YouTube. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. Also go to Facebook.
I like what you say, James. Like us on Facebook. We're there for your pleasure. Hope you will connect to us, that we might be able to make sure that you get the information that you need about Real People, Real Voices.
We have a lot to share with you on today, so we'll be back after this. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. I'm going to get right to our guest. He is the Commissioner for the Indiana Department of Workforce Development, Mr. Fred Payne. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How long have you held this responsibility?
Well, I took on the role back in December of 2017 after a career in law, and I was an executive at Honda Manufacturing of Indiana prior to that.
Outstanding. And a lot of our viewers may not know what the Indiana Department of Development and Workforce is all about. Tell us about it.
Okay. The Indiana Department of Workforce Development is responsible for employment and reemployment services for the state of Indiana. That includes workforce training, credential attainment, and we also provide unemployment insurance services. So we are the state agency that has sole responsibility for providing unemployment insurance benefits. So there are two big units in the house of the DWD, or the Department of Workforce Development.
How many employees you have working for you?
We have, the agency is about 800 employees throughout the state.
Wow, and you oversee that?
Yes, I oversee the agency and set the direction for the agency.
So
Go ahead. If somebody needs a job, how do they go about contacting you or finding out what kind of resources you offer?
That's a very good question, because the answer to that question is multifaceted. So with the Department of Workforce Development, because we're responsible for training throughout the state, we are a conduit for federal training dollars that we allocate through the 12 regions throughout the state of Indiana. And we, through that, those regions develop and operate what we call our Work One offices. So if an individual is looking for a job, or if they're an employer looking for an individual, they can contact one of those Work One offices. We do have several programs that are in place that do address specifically certain types of employment. And our focus this year with this governor's administration, Governor Holcomb, is to ensure that we are providing individuals with training and with the credentials to get them to their next level.
I'm hearing that there's dollars available for this training. Could you tell us about that?
Yes. So there's a program that Governor Holcomb has laid out called Next Level Jobs. So under Next Level Jobs, there are two components. There's one side that is specifically designed for employers, and the other side that's designed specifically for individuals. And we'll talk about the employers first, and then I get to the individuals, because that's where there's a lot of meat out there, okay? So for employers, the Employer Training Grant Program is a program that incentivizes training and retraining of employees by employers. It provides $5,000 for employers to hire and train an individual up to $50,000 per employer. And that program was rolled out in 2017, and we are fully obligated for all the monies in that area. Under that program, we have trained about 7,000 employees are getting trained under that program. And there are about 450 employers who are involved in that program.
Phenomenal.
So that's on the employer side. On the individual side, there's something called the Workforce Ready Grant side. This program is designed to get individuals who desire to get to their next level and to get a credential in a high-wage, high-demand job to get that free of charge. So an individual who wants, let's say, a certification in welding or machining, they can go to our nextleveljobs.org website and they can find a training provider on that list, and then they can engage with that training provider and they'll have that certification and that education paid for.
Wow.
Wow.
And we have so far about 11,000 individuals are enrolled or engaged in high-wage, high-demand certification.
11,000?
Yes.
11,000 paid for?
Yes.
All paid. Phenomenal.
Are you all getting, that's a lot of people, but across the state, do you all feel or think you're getting enough people utilizing and accessing the service?
We always want more because we believe that every individual in the state of Indiana, if they desire, they should have the means and the opportunity to get to their next level. So right now, Indiana has an unemployment rate that's about 3.6%. That's still below the national average of about 3.7%. We have about 6.6 million people in the state of Indiana. Our workforce is about 3.4 million people strong. We have more people now working in Indiana than ever before. Our private sector employment is a little bit over 2.7 million. So people in Indiana are working, but that also poses certain challenges for employers to find individuals who have the skills that they need. And throughout the state, we have probably about maybe 95 to 100,000 job postings. So there's a lot of opportunity there, but we see also that there's a lot of opportunity for growth for individuals who want to attain certain job-related skills. For example, in the year 2018, Governor Holcomb challenged us to get 30,000 individuals who do not have a high school diploma or credential to help them get one by the end of 2018. We achieved that goal. So we helped
30,000 that did not have.
Right, we helped 30,000 people to achieve that goal. And that we know individuals who achieve a high school diploma, they graduate from high school, they have a better chance of living their best lives through education and training. Many of the jobs that are out there today will require some type of post-secondary credential, which is why the state is focusing on credential attainment. So with our Next Level Jobs program, credential attainment is key. The governor's State of the State goals that he laid out in 2018, credential attainment is critical. And we're trying to make sure that we reach a variety of sectors for all demographics within our population. We have what we call a program that's been around for about 5 or 6 years, called our HIRE program, Hoosier Initiative for Reentry. That program helped individuals who were out of prison to obtain or get connected to a job. And that program, we placed probably last year a few thousand individuals, close to 2,000 individuals in jobs. We are changing the focus of that program to focus on credential attainment pre-release, because we believe that individuals who leave prison who have a credential and who are already connected to a job, there's a better rate of recidivism for those individuals. So we're focusing our attention on credential attainment pre-release, and we anticipate that we'll get some of the same successes that were received when we focused on individuals who are already out of prison.
That's prevention on the front end.
Right.
Prevention on the front end.
Which is rare.
Yeah.
Very rare. We don't usually do a lot of things on the front end. We do a lot of things that are on the back end, and this is phenomenal to be able to create something like that to where people can get it on the front end, because it gives them a different focus, because they don't have to worry about a lot of things that you would figure they would worry about without a job, knowing that they have a job. because they've been pre-credentialized and the jobs are there for them.
Right.
So let's take a pin there. I know you have much more to share with us. We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back with more from Commissioner Fred Payne. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices, and we're joined by Commissioner Fred Payne. He is the Commissioner for the Indiana Department of Workforce Development, also known as DWD. Again, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Let me ask you, how do you all go about getting this information out? What are some of the ways that folks who are viewing, who may not know much about what you all do, how could you steer them to different places where they would be privy to this information?
Okay, good question. The programs that I was just telling you about with Next Level Jobs, they can go to nextleveljobs.org and they can get information on the Workforce Ready grants and employers on the employer training grant. And they can also go to www.dwd.in.gov and receive a variety of information. They can just, it's a pretty user-friendly website, and they can get more information. They can also look at their local Work One offices. The local Work One offices, they are run by one of the 12 Workforce Development Board regions throughout the state that we partner with to actually provide some of the training and some of the employment and reemployment services throughout the state.
Outstanding.
Question, Mr. Payne, Commissioner Payne, what about those who are not college ready as of yet, if you know what I mean, coming out of high school, can't do liberal arts, don't want to do liberal arts, might want to do trade. What do you have for those high school seniors who are looking in the workforce before graduation?
That's a very good question. Part of that rests with the Workforce Ready Grant Program. The Workforce Ready Grant Program, it addresses credentials, and it also addresses the individual who wants to pursue a college education, an associate's degree or above. So an individual who leaves high school and they want to go into a trade and they want to get that trade paid for, that training paid for, go to nextleveljobs.org, because the Workforce Ready Grant is there. It's designed to help that individual to receive some type of certification. The post-secondary certification that may not be a 4-year college degree, but it gives them a high-level training and a high-level certification that employers are actually looking for. And we call them high-wage, high-demand certifications because we have an algorithm that we work that looks at the wages that these jobs pay, along with how high of a demand there is for those particular jobs. So that program is designed specifically to address that, but also in the high school space, there are a variety of schools that are offering the dual credit program. So an individual in some schools can actually get out and they already have those types of credentials. And I'm glad you raised this question because it brings me to another point about ensuring that individuals get a credential and individuals can live their best lives. When we're talking about the high school space, one of the things that we're also focusing on when it comes to credentials is that we know that every individual who enters high school is not graduating from high school.
Right.
So we have what's called the Jobs for America's Graduates program. It is a national program that's run within our state, and the other states have it as well. The JAG program is a program that's designed to prevent high school individuals from dropping out of high school. The JAG program has a 95% graduation rate. So for those individuals who are in high school and we want to ensure that they stay on the best track to success, we have the JAG program that will help them through that. When an individual is out of high school and they may not have received their high school equivalent and their high school diploma, then we have a variety of adult basic education programs to help them get their high school equivalency. They used to be called GEDs, but they're no longer called that. So they're called high school equivalency And so we help provide resources to get those individuals trained up and skilled up, because we know that that's one barrier that we can easily help someone remove that can help them to get them on a path to a better job.
That's phenomenal. How do you bring this to the grassroots level? Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
By grassroots level, we hear about this, and believe it or not, I don't know if Pastor Jackson has heard about all of this, because he's very well connected to the community. I haven't heard about this. And so how do we take it to the grassroots level? How do we take it to communities? How do we get this particular information in communities to where young people all across Marion County, central Indiana, can find out that this exists and they can plug into this? How do we do that?
One way is shows like yours, okay?
It is a great show, you know that.
It is.
Okay.
And we have to be engaged.
Right.
Back in 2012, there was a study done nationally by then the vice president at the time on what makes a strong workforce development system. And there are several characteristics that define strong workforce development systems, one of which was engagement. Mm-hmm. That's engagement with the community, engagement with government, engagement with educators, and engagement with employers. So when you say get it to the grassroots, I see that as another way of saying, how do we ensure that we have proper engagement?
Right.
So we have to go into the communities with the different providers that we have and the different programs that we have. We have individuals who are going into gyms, who are going into rec centers and having discussions with individuals about a variety of programs. So grassroots level, churches, community centers, really any outlet that we believe that there's an individual who can utilize our resources, we are trying to ensure that we're touching them in some kind of way. So we have the social media aspects of things. So we do a lot of, we have a social media presence. We have the physical presence with the centers throughout the different cities and throughout the state. And then we have the different programs where we have individuals who are engaged. I mentioned the Jobs for America's Graduates program. Under that program, they have what's called a JAG specialist. This is an individual who engages directly with those students and helps connect them with community resources. Last year along, the 2018 graduating class for JAG, those individuals who were on the brink of dropping out of school ended up getting over $25 million in scholarships.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so again, really the grassroots is making sure that we're touching all the communities at every level that we can touch them, which is one of the reasons why being on this show is very appealing, and it makes sure that we're getting the word out. Folks from the Department of Workforce Development are actually going out and talking to other people in communities, engaging with businesses and engaging with educators.
That's phenomenal.
Well, Commissioner Payne, we have just over a minute left. We hear a lot about in the future there will be more high-level jobs than there will be folks to fill those jobs. How are you all responding to that?
Well, we're working with a variety of employers and making sure that we have the infrastructure in place. When you look back in the 2008, 9, 10 timeframe when we had the Great Recession, we had no jobs and a lot of people. And then now it seems like we have a lot of jobs, but we still need more people. Mm-hmm. The goal is to ensure that we have good workforce hygiene. And what I mean by good workforce hygiene is that we have a good infrastructure in place with engagement, with the proper training at the right time, and we have all of that kind of mixed in with government, with employers and educators. And if we have the right type of engagement and the right type of training, I think we'll have a system that can flex itself enough with those changing times. So just like we all have our good health hygiene, mm-hmm. It ensures that we have really good health. If we have good workforce hygiene, then we'll have a good, strong workforce development system. And that will help to ensure that we can flex when we have changing times, when we have plenty of jobs and no people, or we have a lot of people and no jobs.
Well, Commissioner, you've been a great guest. I hope you'll come back soon to share some other information with us. I want to thank you all for joining us on today. We'll be back in just a bit with the rundown. Welcome back to the show, and we're glad to have you here with us on today on Real People, Real Voices. I am James Jackson, your host.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And I'm your executive producer, Faith McKinney.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, both
Yeah,
of you.
Thank you so much, Faith. Happy to be with you.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here.
Thanks for the wonderful job you do.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. I love it.
We
I love
appreciate
being
you.
able to share the people of Indianapolis with the people of Indianapolis. You know, we have so much talent. knowledge. And Central Indiana, of course.
Yeah. I want to thank our sponsors.
Yes, Lee Casso and Crawley, who's been with us for 2 years now,
Yeah.
almost. And then we have Fervent Care Christian Academy that's been with us from the inception of this program.
Absolutely.
And we look forward for other sponsors coming on this year. It's a great show to be a part of and to be a part of the family of Real People, Real Voices.
And to your point, Commissioner Fred Payne,
Yes.
with the Department of Workforce Development, what a wonderful program there with a lot of information.
I think the most shocking part of that interview was that this exists in the state of Indiana, and it's moving and it's working. It's being productive. He has great results. He doesn't have his 2018 numbers yet, but it needs to be more communication and engagement about this, so that young people who might not want to go to college can get hooked up with the programs and find out that they can develop their lives into a living wage to support their own lives. And I think this is phenomenal. I think we're gonna tap into this again.
Yeah.
We need to tap into this again. Faith, I think you need to be committed to bringing him to this particular show at this particular time in this season, because I think it's important that young people know that this exists, and those who want to upgrade their employment need to know that it exists.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of great resources.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's becoming more and more prevalent in
Yeah.
our society
Yeah.
where not everybody's going to college,
Right.
but they still need to get credentialed
Yeah.
to
That
get
is
some of these
phenomenal.
jobs.
To be credentialed
Right. And the experience.
in the workforce. That's phenomenal.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. We look forward to our next time with you on Real People, Real Voices. Have a great night.